Welcome back, viewers at home. Tonight we have a special guest who embodies the essence of transformation and resilience. Now, Rirandzu Viola Phazima Madhlophe is a multifaceted professional with over 23 years of dedicated service in the information technology industry. She started her career as a science and math teacher, but moved to IT, where she was a software developer and eventually became a solution architect. Now, she has also embraced the role of transformational life coach, emotional therapy practitioner, and NLP practitioner, and is now on the verge of qualifying as a hypnotherapist. She joins me now to discuss her latest book, Eat Your Cancer Away. Rirandzu, good evening and welcome to INX Prime.
Good evening to you. And thank you for inviting me. I'm grateful to be here.
Now, after reading, your career span that spans for 23 years, I mean, you were once a math and science teacher, you went into IT, and now you're in the health space, and eventually now you're actually also an author, if I can say so. Can you tell us about what really inspired you to transition from, the likes of IT to now becoming that of a writer?
What I can say is that life happened. So when life happened, the saying that whatever goes through in life, good or bad, there is a positive aspect to it. So you just have to look closer for that positivity that comes out of that. And I would say I went through those bad and good times, but obviously the bad times are the ones that propelled me to say, write whatever you're going through to share with other people so that those people can learn from my experiences. And when I said bad experiences, it's this is my second book, Eat Your Cancer Away. The first book titled Love Beyond the Grave. I published it after I lost 5 people that were dear to me. Oh. And when you look at that, I went through tragedy, but I managed to write that book. Why? Because there was positivity that came out of it. I experienced their love, even though they were beyond the grave. A month after publishing that book, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and then subsequently diagnosed with leukemia. And that it's tragic when you look at it. However, I had to get positivity out of it. And hence I said, let me share my journey and other people can learn from it.
Mary Rans, I think it would be an injustice for me to not ask, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm happy. I'm grateful for each day. I live each day as it's my last day because that's what we have. That's what I can take control of. I can't take control of tomorrow.
And that is quite a beautiful way of living a life. And I think it's something I ran into where it says, live a life like being you is such an honor. And I think we tend to take, life for granted until we come across, beautiful stories or just those quotes that help us remind ourselves of how precious an individual is, be it yourself, be it, the people around you, amongst other things. But, I want to talk about your second baby that you published, which is Eat Your Cancer Away. I want to know, can you tell us a bit about that book in question? What was your thought process and what inspired you to actually write a book or even think of such a title? Because, as I was saying earlier on, the word cancer on its own, it's quite a conversation that keeps a lot of us sometimes feeling quite sad, sometimes feeling motivated, sometimes feeling like, okay, it's a very serious conversation. But for you, making it such a very, interesting title, how did you come to that place?
Okay, so firstly, when I decided to write the book was because I was traveling through that journey. And as I was traveling the journey and doing researches, I could see that we go through changes once you sit in front of your doctor and your doctor says, I'm sorry, but you have got cancer. And when I look at it, for me, through my research was, that is a diagnosis. And it could be you'll be sitting in front of your doctor and they will tell you have got a thyroid problem. Why are we taking cancer like it's something that is different to any diagnosis? So I decided to go holistic healing. By holistic healing, when I was diagnosed with leukemia, that's when I decided this is not a physical thing. I need to look at my emotional being, I need to look at my mental being, as well as my spiritual being. Hence, I said this is holistic. And the first thing that I did when I was diagnosed was to change my diet. I learned that whatever I put in my body, that's how my body will give me back. So at that particular point, I changed my diet. I stopped eating meat, stopped eating dairy products, stopped eating food with preservatives. And hence, I said, eat your cancer away. And the question that I get mostly is people ask me, so now you are cured, now you are fine. I said, no, I'm on this journey the same way as people go through the journey of life without knowing that they are diagnosed. I always tell people, if you have got five amongst yourself, one of the person they've got cancer, but they don't know. The only difference is that when you're diagnosed, now you know. And then your mind starts conceptualizing that. So eat your cancer away. It's because we can bit by bit live our life with cancer and eventually beat it. But it doesn't matter that if you go through 10 years still going through cancer, you are not living your life. You need to live your life while you're eating that cancer away.
You know, Rirandzu, individuals like yourself, and I'm just very honored to have the privilege to be sitting in front of you and, you know, being able to actually conversate around this issue of, you know, being diagnosed with cancer. Because I think last year we lost Zoleka Mandela, who actually was also, you know, numerous times survived her breast cancer, which became into something that it developed into another form of cancer, and through that she spreaded nothing but positivity as well as information on her journey. Now, coming from you, I want to understand how do you then develop that positive and a thriving mindset when you get news? Because I think we are so notioned to understanding that once a doctor can say you have cancer, it's like your life is over. But then a new life can begin, as we're seeing from your journey, as you're sharing that you had to change your diet and change certain things about, you know, how you were consuming life. But then to get to that mindset where you want to actually live life and, you know, do better for yourself and not allow yourself to be consumed by what a doctor is saying you're currently diagnosed with. How do you get there, or what does it take for one to actually develop such a mindset?
I would say it is doable, but it's difficult. So I was blessed because I did transformational coaching, which it has got NLP, negative emotional therapy. So I started working on myself. So we need to learn that we need to give ourselves permission to be vulnerable. We need to learn from the people that have traveled this road. So when you're sitting in front of your doctor and your doctor says you have got cancer, be grateful. Thank you, I've got cancer. But what next? Because I think the most important thing is what next. And you can wake up the following day dead. You can wake up the following day and move on. And what we've done as human beings is that we associate the diagnosis of cancer to death. And it's not like that. You can be healthy, go out of your house and be in an accident and you die. So when you are diagnosed with cancer, it's a chance to look at your life and say, here I am as Rirandzu. I've been diagnosed with cancer. What next? What I have to do in order to live, if I still have got 10 years in life on this earth, to live that 10 years, to live that 20 years healthy, because the quality of life, that's what we need. So I guess in the nutshell, I can say people need to take the diagnosis and then employ themselves as CEO of their life and say what next.
Now, Rirandzu, let's talk about eat your cancer away. I remember you said that, it took you to do a lot of research and you personally changing your diet. Now, someone buying this book, are they particularly buying a book that has, the meal preps and everything under the sun, or it's a book that literally speaks of your journey in, living a life after finding out that you were diagnosed with the likes of leukemia as well as breast cancer?
So it doesn't have recipes. What I acknowledge in the book, we are individuals and we are different. So one person can change their diet and be healthy. Another person start exercising. So what I emphasize on the book, it's my journey. Okay. And what I've learned throughout. In the book, I've got 2 chapters that are very close to my heart. The first one is the divine partners. The other one is the divine tools. Okay. So when I talk about divine partners, God put people into my path that said to me, come, let's go. We have traveled this. We have worked with people that have went through cancer. And I am here today because of those people. And the divine tools also, it's tools that I've acquired also throughout. And those tools are helping me till today. So what people need to acknowledge is that as much as we are diagnosed with cancer, we are still unique. So in our uniqueness, we need to find our way. Hence, I said everyone needs to employ themselves as the CEO so that they take back the control in themselves. We know that one person can eat something and it's good for their body, but another person can eat and it's not. And there is research that's going on daily. One time they'll say coffee is bad, another year they'll say coffee is good. So you don't know. So you need to listen to your body. What is your body telling you? Your body will give you signal, but don't silence the symptoms, because what we do, when you've got a headache, you get a grandpa or Panado, and then you silence it. Meanwhile, your body is trying to tell you something.
That is quite, powerful. And I think it's something we always take for granted, Rirandzu. Because I think I was listening to a podcast, someone was saying that, we rush to go to the doctors, we rush to, take those supplements, but we fail to actually listen to when your body is actually telling you something, because it is your body, it's a living, entity, and we tend to look at it as this, object that, we only use it when it's at its best, and when it's at its worst, we just want a, quick solution or a quick fix rather than trying to understand the underlying issues. Now, Rirandzu, when I'm hearing and I'm seeing your professional journey and you being a writer, I want to know, how do you then balance all these different hats that you wear in your life of, being a transformational life coach, a writer, and I'm sure there's many other things that you aspire to do in life. How do you actually develop that balance?
What I can say is that we all have the same time, 24 hours in a day. So it boils down to priorities. So if you prioritize your life, it's easier that way. So myself balancing, in order for me to be able to write and to note that I finished Eat Your Cancer Away in 6 weeks, is that I had a plan and I had a good coach, and we were a group that we fall under that coach, and he was an accountability partner, because he will say, log in at 5 a.m., all of you, and then you write. But of course, I couldn't log in at 5 a.m. I was logging in at 3 because 5 for me was late. I'll wake up every morning, 3 o'clock, write for 2 hours. I commute to work. So I spend 2 hours to work and coming back. That's another 2 hours that I can sit in the train and write. So balancing that for me was easy, because in the morning, go to work and come back. Weekends, I'll do more. And another person would look at this and say, but you didn't have life, or you don't have life. But I do. I've got 7 grandkids that I spend time with, and I have time to do other things. So it boils down to priorities. People need to prioritize. Definitely, what is important to you, you'll give it more time.
Now, for viewers who are going to be, purchasing the book and getting themselves the book to read and, go through your journey with you, even though from different points of life or maybe for different reasons why they're reading your book, what do you hope they take away from reading your book?
I think what I've hammered in throughout the day is be the CEO of your life. In the book, I emphasize that we need also, for example, to when you go to a supermarket to buy your food, try to read what is written there as ingredient. If you find something that you don't understand, we've got our phones, you Google, you ask Siri, what is this? Because what we're doing, we're taking poison into our body without knowing.
True.
And so if you become a CEO, you need to be able to do those due diligence. So in the book also, it's not only people that are going through cancer or they've got somebody in the family that's going through cancer. It's any diagnosis. Because for one person sitting and they're saying you've got a thyroid problem or you've got a problem with your heart, you might have a heart attack. It's the same thing. So the book, it's not only for people that are faced with cancer, but for everyone, because all of us, we go through challenges in life.
Rirandzu, thank you so much, for coming in and being vulnerable with us about your journey and being open on how you take every day as the CEO of your life and hoping others actually do the same in terms of being their own CEO. Thank you so much. And we wish you nothing but a very strengthful, healthy life moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And God bless you. Thank you.
Viewers at home, that was Rirandzu was sharing in her journey. Now, the conversation of Eat Your Cancer Away, or rather the book being Eat Your Cancer Away, is something that makes cancer looks like something beatable. And I think after having the conversation with her, it's a thing of, it's high time we change our mindset when it comes to receiving our diagnosis, or even prior to that. Let us start, listening to our bodies and being CEOs of our bodies to say, when you have a headache, don't rush. Change that speed of which you rush for that grandpa or anything that you take for that headache. Let's start drinking water. Let's start being healthy. Let's start watching what we're consuming. I mean, those fried chips can take a break for a little bit. I think we can do without them. But viewers at home, hope you guys did enjoy that conversation. And if you are an individual who is struggling with the likes of any, chronic disease or illness, do not despair and be the CEO of your life. And you never know. Who knows? You could probably be the hero of your own story.